like to call this meeting to order of the Monongalia County Board of Education. The date is April 29th at 5 p.m. Please rise for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks to everyone for coming out. We love it when we have a crowd. Okay, first thing, recognitions. First one we have Teacher of the Year, Erica Diaz. I'll read a little plug note here. The board would like to recognize Erica Diaz, Monongalia County Schools 2025-26 Teacher of the Year. Erica teaches at University High School. She is a dedicated educator with 18 years of experience in special ed and social studies. Currently serves as institutional collaborator for the county. A graduate of West Virginia University, Nazareth College of Rochester. She teaches AP World History, World Honors, AP European History, Broadcast Journalism. Passionate about professional growth, Ms. Diaz has attended prestigious institutions and conferences, including programs in the Renaissance of World War I, the Holocaust education, as well as international seminars and national presentations. She also participates in AP exam grading and supports statewide curriculum efforts. Outside the classroom, she enjoys reading, running, yoga, spending time with her family, and 2 dogs. So if you would come forward, please. I think, Mr. Berry has the plaque. We're all going to come up and get our picture taken with you. Okay. That'll make us famous.
Yes, and Mrs. Green. Erica, could we get a picture with Mrs. Green? Okay.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Green, I didn't see your... Does Mrs. Green like to say anything?
I just want to say how deserving Erica is of this award. She was nominated by the teachers in our school, but everyone agrees she is so deserving. I was walking a student to the office last week, and as we're walking down the hall, the student said, "I am so glad Mrs. Diaz is Teacher of the Year. She deserves it so much." So, I mean, even the students agree. So she's just wonderful, and we're thankful to have her in our school. So, thank you. Her husband and son are here tonight, too. So, and her mom, too.
Eric, would you like to say anything?
Sure. I just want to say thank you. This means a lot to me. I really love working in Monongalia County. I love working at University High, and I love my kiddos and my coworkers and my family, so I couldn't ask for anything better. My administration's been really supportive, and I'm very thankful. So, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, next up, we have Counselor of the Year. That is, Board would like to recognize Brittany Bartley, a dedicated school counselor from Milan Park Elementary School. Ms. Bartley was awarded Elementary School Counselor of the Year by the West Virginia School Counselors Association. This recognition highlights a counselor's outstanding commitment to supporting students and making a meaningful impact on school community. Congratulations.
is here
Hold on.
this evening.
I was
so
gonna say-
maybe go on up.
Yes.
Jamie, get a picture too.
Not putting the microphone.
You don't need the mic for
I don't
that.
need the microphone.
Then we'll let you talk.
We're gonna come up, get a picture with you too, so
Yeah.
don't run off.
Back up again.
Everybody back. Up again.
Mrs. Bartley is also the epitome of a school counselor, everything that she stands for, and she, our students, she can't walk down the hallway without someone going, but I need a hug, or I need a squeeze, or all of the above. So she does wonderful things for Milan Park, and we are so thankful that we have had her for the last 6 years.
Thank you. You get to speak too. Yeah, but I didn't agree to that.
I really I couldn't do it without the community and the students that I get to work with. So that's why I'm there, and I'm very fortunate.
Wait for that. Let's have all the
We're all coming up to get hugs.
Congrats.
Big things are happening in Milan Park there, Dr. Campbell.
Yes, they are, sir.
All right. Next, we have delegation sections, but we have no delegations, correct? Next, we have the reports and discussions, follow-up action, WVU Extension 4-H program, Becca Flint Clark, one of our favorite people.
I'll try to bring the enthusiasm, so I'm not going to sing any 4-H songs. I know, it's a bummer, I know, but we are getting ready for camp, so it's an exciting time. But 4-H, it's always an exciting time. So my name is Becca Flint Clark. I am the 4-H and Youth Development Extension Agent here. I've had this position for 17 years. I remember when I first came to my very first Board of Education meeting and was so nervous to speak, but now I am so lucky and fortunate to be able to present and tell you how much we appreciate the support of the Board of Ed. We have a lot of 4-H friends here in the audience, so I know that they all can attest to the work that we do in the school system. We are present in all elementary schools, lots of the middle schools, and do lots of different programs that we think our youth can learn from and can help the teachers, give them hands-on activities that maybe they couldn't get before. Heather's here. She's Heather Tanton. She's our 4-H program assistant. Heather, how many years have you been? Like six? 6 years, and I don't know what I would do without her. She is funded through our levy, our Board of Education levy, and so it's really important to me that I acknowledge that and show her appreciation because really we make a pretty fabulous team, I think. I don't know what I'd do. So I did leave a report for you. I'm not going to read it, but I would appreciate it if you would take the time to see some of the things that we're doing, really focused on the school-specific things. But as you know, we have summer camp coming up, lots and lots of campers registered for that. And our fairs and festivals, we also have a strong presence of agriculture and other 4-H project work at those. But I also tend to bring a 4-H'er that you can hear from. And so tonight I have Josie Tanton, and she is a senior at University High School. And we always joke, Heather and I say, you know, we could never bring our own kids to do the presentation, but Josie is just a fabulous 4-H'er. I mean, she has been involved even way before Heather was employed with Extension in 4-H, but Josie has been in 4-H since she could be, and she does camp. She's a camper. She helps as a counselor. She helps us with our Cloverbud meetings, which are total chaos. She shows animals in our fair, so she's really the epitome of what 4-H is. So I'm going to let Josie tell you a little bit about her 4-H experience.
4-H is more than just an extracurricular activity for me. It's a fundamental pillar of my being. It shaped my values, developed my skills, and has given me so many experiences that I would cherish for the rest of my life. My journey with 4-H started with livestock projects. From the excitement of raising animals to the pride of showing them at the fair, I learned responsibility, dedication, and the importance of true hard work. Each early morning and late night of the fair taught me the value of commitment and reward of satisfaction. But 4-H is so much more than agriculture. its community, leadership, and personal growth. The countless hours I spent at 4-H camp, first as a camper, then later as a counselor, instilled in me a sense of teamwork and collaboration. I was taught how to effectively support campers as well as fellow counselors. I'm also currently the president of my local club. It was a challenging, yet incredibly rewarding experience. It forced me to step out of my comfort zone, to develop my communication or organizational skills, and learn how to lead others. Volunteering through 4-H has allowed me to give back to my community and understand the impact of service. Whether it was cleaning up Camp Muffley, helping at countywide club riverbed meetings, or mentoring others, I discovered the joy of making a difference. Through all these experiences, 4-H has taught me the importance of lifelong learning, the value of community, and the power of leadership. It has given me the confidence to pursue my dreams and the skills to succeed. It has instilled in me a sense of purpose and a desire to make the world a better place.
Thank you.
Josie was nervous. She said, "Why did you pick me? I'm not a good public speaker." But I thought you did an excellent job.
This is the best place to practice.
That's right. That's right. That is right. Hey, again, I certainly appreciate each and every one of you. I don't know what we would do without our Board of Education support. I think that I am in the best county, for sure, with the most support from our Board of Ed. So thank you for all that you do for us. And, you know, we always give a how, so how to you for all your support. So thank you.
We should have given her a how.
Thank you.
One thing, I was always impressed with your public speaking classes that you were doing, because I think that's so vitally important. Get more comfortable, and you'll get more comfortable with it as you go on. Plus, you can go on YouTube and look this meeting up. Thank you. All right. Next is the 2025-26 school calendar. I'll dump that to you now.
Okay, board members, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the 2025-2026 school calendar as presented in your executive file this evening.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion?
We have had our two calendar hearings to meet that requirement. I know Sandy has taken any of the feedback. We didn't have anybody present at the hearings, but she certainly has had plenty of feedback from the staff and any community feedback that have been brought to her as part of her development of the calendar. And I do want to publicly thank Sandy, as I do every year, for the work that she does on the calendar, having been previously the person who put calendars together in a county. I understand how difficult and complicated it is to put a school calendar together. I used to think that I was really good at it until I came here and Sandy showed me exactly how it's supposed to be done. And so I will never try to do another school calendar ever. Hopefully Sandy's going to be around for a lot longer, and hopefully she's trained somebody in the event that she does decide to leave us at some point. But Sandy does a fabulous job. All jokes aside, the staff has been so receptive to the calendars that Sandy puts together with her team. We meet, not only do we meet the basic criteria for 180 days of instruction and 200 days of employment, but the professional development aspect that Sandy puts into it, and the things that her team bring together. There's just a lot of thought and work that goes into the calendar, and I am so appreciative of the work that she does. So, Sandy, publicly, thank you for the work that you continue to do. It's on an incredible job.
Should we get a picture with Sandy? We've taken
With the calendar
printed out.
I'm telling you.
Can we get a printed out calendar?
As a former member of her committee, it's like if Sudoku and Jenga had and trying to move those parts, and she makes it look so easy. And great job, Sandy.
Thank you.
Plus, she can foresee the future,
Yeah.
because that's what she's doing when she sets them out.
Right.
And this past year was a prime example of you making that all work. 'Cause,
Well, she did come into my office after about the 5th or 6th snow day and did say, "What in the world are you doing to my calendar?" And I had to inform her that I don't have control of the weather, although many people in the community actually think I do, but I really, really don't.
That's because when they call me, I say, "Oh, he controls it."
That's thinking, Eddie.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Had the discussion, so all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Get rolled up here. My smart box is not playing nice. There we go. Instructional materials, adoption pre-K. Debbie Jones. Where is Debbie? There's Debbie Jones.
Good evening. Thank you for letting me have this opportunity to come and speak with you this evening. I get the pleasure of introducing two of my right-hand ladies in my department, and these ladies were also part of our curriculum adoption committee. Curriculum adoption was very different for me this year. In the past, it's always been you go and you have these huge manuals that you are flipping through the pages, and you're looking at the resources that come with the curriculum. However, as we move forward in time and with technology, some of us old dogs have to learn a new trick. And I was scared to death at first, but I think that you are going to really be impressed with the product that we're bringing before you for your approval for the pre-K adoption. And keep in mind, preschool encompasses all areas. It's not just reading, it's not just math, it's fine motor, gross motor, social skills. It's all of those things wrapped into one. So this evening, my friends here are going to speak with you about learning beyond pages. And it is an online cloud-based program that teachers do not have to have special apps on their computer or programs downloaded. They can access this at any time. And I'm not going to steal their thunder, but I have to say this, and this is why I'm like super, super excited about this. This program does not just apply to our four-year-olds. This program actually offers a variety of lessons from birth to through 4, which is, I think this is a blessing for us in that as we have children coming to us from all different backgrounds, from all different ability levels, and students with developmental delays, this is going to be just a very, very good resource for our teachers. They will get some materials. They'll have access to, of course, everything on the teacher dashboard. But because we work so diligently at emerging literacy skills, we are purchasing with your approval, the literary texts that go with it, so the teacher can do read-alouds, can put that in their library, and they're also getting a paper copy of the lessons at 4 years of age. Okay? So, I'm going to let the ladies share with you some more, and then I'll jump back up, and we're happy to take questions at any time.
Hello, my name is Melissa Workman, and I'm the academic coach for pre-K. And pre-K is the gateway into Mon County Public Schools, which we take very seriously, and our curriculum selection committee also took very seriously. So we were really excited when we really got in the weeds studying this and looking at all the different curriculum options that were presented or offered at the State Department of Education. Learning Beyond Pages checked 80% of the non-negotiable items that we had to meet. So it's developmentally appropriate. It has a wide developmental range, so our teachers can truly individualize. If you have a student with special needs, nonverbal autism, whatever it is, you can plug into the AI-generated cloud person that aligns with that comes with the program, and you can say specifically what are the challenges with this students learning, and then it will take a theme or an activity and adapt it to specifically individualize for that student. So that's a very powerful tool for our teachers because we serve children ages 3 to 5 and we're universal pre-K. We have a Head Start population of students, but out of 756 students, we do have a high proportion of students receive special ed services. If you want to flip to the second slide, a great thing about this is it is a comprehensive curriculum that represents all children. It fosters inclusivity, and it's rooted in child development appropriate practice. Now, a great component of this is it's always evolving, so we can talk to the coordinators and we can say, hey, they just updated the West Virginia Pre-K content standards in math and science. Can you update that for us? They're updating that right now, and those standards will launch July 1st. And it also aligns with class, which is the observation that I go in and do on teachers and use that as a coaching tool to try to help them improve their practice. It aligns, this is a biggie, it aligns with their child assessment system. So the assessment that our teachers do on our children 3 times a year, report out to parents, report to the State Department of Ed, this curriculum aligns with that, and that was a huge selling point for us because in the past we have not had a curriculum that actually aligns with our assessment. A great part is it also meets Policy 2525, which is the policy that drives universal pre-K. So I'm happy to say it does not have any worksheets, flashcards, or isolated content areas, which is a big thing in pre-K that we have to continually try to address. So I think our teachers are very excited about it. They're ready for a change. And we're excited to launch the curriculum August 14th.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Ashley Kowalski, and I am the Early Childhood Compliance Specialist. I was previously an Early Childhood Specialist, so Melissa and I have pretty much worked in all of the pre-K rooms that are currently in the county, and she really hit the nail on the head when she said, we're constantly looking at that continuum of development of all of our children. Our teachers are needing to individualize and change their lesson plans for many different groups within their room daily, but yet they're integrating all of those content areas into the classroom, and we're constantly making sure that learning environment is set up to meet curriculum fidelity, to meet our standards that they're teaching through. Our team worked very, very hard. I just feel that it's very important to say there was a very large team of us that looked at this. We made sure that there was high needs teachers on the team, collaborative partners, pre-K teachers that had been seasoned, a few that have been here just for a few years. They worked extensively to really make sure that the curriculum we selected was grounded within those early childhood practices that are really important to us. In addition, the State Department, of course, puts out a criteria sheet that every grade level has to look at when you're selecting that curriculum. And there was a lot of non-negotiables that our team took very seriously, and we are very happy to say Learning Beyond Paper met every single indicator. There was actually a few people on our pre-K team that also served at the state level committee on selecting those initial curriculum that we could look through. So we are very excited. This is, we keep on joking, but it really is true. This is for pre-K to be able to actually select a curriculum beyond just creative curriculum, which we have used for at least 15 or 16 years in pre-K. It's very historical because they actually let our team, look at our county data and the needs within our community and within our programs and take that information and kind of run with it for what is best for our children here. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to present this. We were very thrilled to be a part of the team and very thrilled to take our next step on this journey.
Do you have any questions for any of us?
No.
Thank you.
Good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, go ahead and want to adopt this one. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll need to,
Yeah.
excuse me, need a motion to adopt.
I got to recommend first.
Oh, yeah, you need to recommend.
Debbie, thank you to you and your team for the work that you put in on selecting this. It is historic, and we're excited, and I'm excited to make the recommendation, so thank you. Superintendent recommends that the board approve the instructional materials adoption for pre-K as presented in your executive content.
Now I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any questions? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next up, social studies. Becky Berry, Sandy Duvall.
It's elementary first, I think it's.
Did I skip one?
No, you didn't, we did.
No, we just mixed it up.
So, we are first then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm Norma Gaines, I'm Director of Elementary Curriculum, and I am here with some representatives from our elementary social studies curriculum to talk with you about what our choice was, or what the committee's recommending to you for adoption for grades K through 5. And we've gone with a program called Studies Weekly, or that's the program that we're recommending. So I have some really fun samples for you to take a look at. One of the things that we really like about it is it's set up in a magazine format. It's very appealing, and as I pass these around to you, you're not going to be able to resist looking at them. They're really, really fun. So this is a sample teacher guide, and the teacher guides are in 3-ring binders. Okay. These are the representatives of our committee. We had a committee representing all the elementary schools, but not everyone was available tonight or comfortable coming to present, so you can volunteer.
Yeah, we're pretty scary up here.
Right.
You're a little scary.
My name is Samantha Matasovsky. I am the academic coach at Ridgedale Elementary.
Hi, I'm Olivia Brackey. I'm a second grade teacher at Mountain View Elementary.
Hi, I'm Matt McKenzie. I teach first grade at Mountain View.
So when we first heard about Studies Weekly, Norma and I were one of the ones that went down to the state caravan down at the Marriott, and we were able to hear from them there, and they were also able to come to a social studies committee meeting that we had with the school level, and they were able to talk about everything. And one of the things they said is that their focus is primarily on K through 5 education. They have an emphasis on hands-on learning, critical thinking, and civic engagement. The hands-on learning was really a key to us in the elementary realm, but we're really excited about them.
So just kind of an overview of the curriculum. So K2 really focuses kind of on the broad, like, foundational knowledge. So like maps, cultures, leaders, symbols, things like that. And then 3-5 will really dig deeper into U.S. history, world history, geography, things like that. I actually taught in Texas before I came back to Mon County to teach, and the district that I worked at in Texas used this. And all of the staff at my school really liked it. It was easy but also authentic primary sources, and the kids loved the weekly magazines and all of that. I did want to say that there's an online resources, and there's videos, quizzes, virtual field trips, and that also integrates well with PBIS because they have an avatar, and they can earn different rewards and incentives and things like that, so we really like that too.
So as far as what the program actually provides, it has the actual magazine that the kids can handle There are project-based activities. There are resources that are within the magazines or printable. There are decodables that are for the younger grades that are levels-based that you can search for. You can modify assessments as the teacher when you go in. So if you are not particularly happy about some of the questions that are there, you can kind of pick and choose what you present, make something shorter if there's something in an IEP or a 504, kind of make this more habitable for your learners. So really everything is accessible for K-5.
One of the tasks that we had as a committee is to look at the West Virginia Social Studies standards. The state had already gone through and did it for K through 2. So we took the time as well to do basically what the state had already done and did our version of making sure that everything aligned to where it needed to be. And we did that with grades K through 5. Social studies standards were aligned. There was a pacing guide that also was in there and an alignment sheet because some of the 4th grade standards and the 5th grade standards kind of have to be swapped around because of just difference from across the states and everything. So we did make sure that they were aligned and we were able to pull from another grade level if we needed to. And yeah.
So we've hit on this, I feel like, but it really focuses on the student engagement, both the magazine and the online platform. It's really accessible and easy for the students to, navigate. And then it also has a lot of real-world connections. And the primary sources are very nice with this curriculum, and it's especially nice for maybe our learners who don't have access to very many primary resources and sources. So it's nice that they not only get to have access to that in the classroom, but then they get to take it home, and they love bringing their little magazines home.
Thank you guys for your time, and if you have any questions, we are available.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for your work as a social studies person. That's very impressive. I just leafed through some of the items you have, and really good job. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'll add on to that. Having 2 kids gone through elementary school recently, some of their social studies workbooks weren't that engaging. And I think that the pictures on this and the articles just make it a little easier to, I don't want to say access, but to get involved and to be interested in it.
To digest.
I think the workbook we have now is great, but I think this is so much better.
I also forgot to mention it will be very easy for us to integrate this into our ELA block too, to connect social studies and ELA together.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Norman.
We want to keep going.
I was going to say,
Yeah, we're just going to roll right into the middle and the high.
we'll vote on all of it at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to vote on the whole thing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here this evening, and the difference between elementary and middle and high textbook adoption or instructional materials adoption is elementary, they are able to adopt every year. So every time that group, because they teach everything, they see the new things that are out there and the integration into the different delivery that we have now digitally as well as activities. So our process actually began in December with an application process of individuals who are truly interested in selecting those instructional materials for the students. So with the pleasure of Becky Berry, who is our social studies specialist for middle and high. So really, Becky took this over and just rocked the world with her ability, with her knowledge, and with the process and working with the group. And we have a large group to make sure that we do identify the best materials for our adoption. The difference as well with the adoptions this year is it's now a 5-year adoption as opposed to a 6-year adoption. So, and the measurement of the percentage as well, Becky just took a bull by the horns and showed them what we have.
Thanks for having us tonight. I'm Becky Berry, as Sandy so nicely introduced me, the social studies specialist. And we're glad to share with you our findings as the Instructional Materials Committee. I'm going to try and click this. There we go. Really started in December, and we did a dive into the standards because we wanted to ensure everything that we reviewed, of course, matched at least 80% of our college and career standards for social studies. The standards next year will roll out, and virtually not very many changes, slight changes to 7th grade that shift to a little bit more geography. I know Brooke's going to talk about that. Slight changes in 9th grade and a slight change to the civics curriculum. So we really started in December really having everyone look at those standards to make sure they understood them. So when we reviewed resources, of course we can get excited about new books and all the online bells and whistles, but we wanted to make sure that those matched our standards. And our committee included, like Ms. DeVault said, 16 teachers in all middle schools and all high schools, including one special educator and one academic coach. And they were there through a survey process, and they've been a great team to work with. We've had great discussions about curriculum and about resource materials. And they are so excited that I'm going to let Brooke Adams from Suncrest Middle talk to you about what the team is requesting for materials for middle school. And then brand new Teacher of the Year, Erica Diaz, is going to be talking about our high school selections. And then we're here to answer any questions. Thanks. Brooke.
Hi. So I just kind of have to reiterate, have to thank Becky for keeping us so well organized and guiding us through this process. I'm really proud of the work that this committee did. And like Becky said, we did start with the standards deep dive. There were notable changes in especially 7th grade, and we wanted to make sure whatever new text we chose is going to reflect those changes. And 80% of all standards have to be covered with what we choose. So this was kind of a logical first step, was to take a look at our standards. So a little bit more about our process. We all had the chance to get together and develop a wish list for our perfect textbook. And from that wish list, we developed a rubric to assess and grade all of our choices. Some of us had the opportunity to go to the WVDE Instructional Materials Caravan, where we got to meet with some publishers and see their presentations. And we used that rubric that we developed to kind of score what we saw. And even those of us that didn't get to go to the caravan, we had the opportunity to meet with some of these publishers one-on-one in virtual and in-person meetings, so we could ask them follow-up questions and get kind of a more in-depth view into what they had to offer. And then we used that rubric, we just scored all of our options, and we discussed collaboratively. So our choice for 6th and 7th grade, we decided to go with the National Geographic and Cengage option. Now, obviously, when you look at National Geographic, it's going to have beautiful imagery, beautiful pictures. That's what drew us in. But we were particularly excited that this 7th grade textbook did a good job of aligning with those new changes, because this 7th grade curriculum is really moving more toward geography instead of world history. So that was well reflected with this textbook. Some other things that we were excited about these particular picks. It aligns with Schoology, our learning management system, and it has some great literacy options. It's got these document-based questions. It has a primary source collection. We social studies teachers are always trying to make sure that we hit our literacy goals. And even though we're not tested, we want to make sure we're supporting them on their GSAs. So we're really excited about this pick for 6th and 7th grade. And I'm not biased, but I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited about our 8th grade pick. Just on soapbox for just a quick second, I'm really passionate about local and state history, especially in a state that is so often maligned in the public. So I was thrilled that we had not one, not two, but 3 options for West Virginia Studies, and that's the first time in my 11 years having an option, and I was in West Virginia Studies 20 years ago, and it was a Claremont Press. So we had options this year. And just like all of our other text, we used our rubric, we discussed collaboratively, and we went with the Gibbs-Smith, the West Virginia Journey. A little bit about this textbook. It's beautiful and such a well laid out textbook, but what excited me the most was the very beginning. You look at all the contributors, the historians, the educators, the literacy specialists who put the work into this book. It is such a well researched textbook. It has opportunities for primary source investigations, graph and chart analysis. It's got inquiry projects that are embedded. And I think this textbook will do two things. I think it will help give our 8th graders a more well-rounded view of their state. And also, I think it's going to help prepare them for the rigor of high school curriculum. So I will stop gushing about my excitement for this book, and I will pass things over to Erica to talk more about high school.
Thank you.
Be sure and introduce yourself.
Hi. Okay, so I'm here to talk. What? Teacher of the Year.
Hello, I'm Teacher of the Year.
I'm here to talk to you about the 9 through 12 adoptions. So our committee met amongst like all of the high school teachers, and we have some new standards for 9th grade as well as civics this year. So we wanted to really look at these textbooks to make sure they met those. 9th grade's changing a little bit, where we are picking up around post-classical civilizations, which are like 1200, which gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to reach further in history, so our kids get more modern history that allows them to kind of understand what has shaped our modern world. So that's really important to us in 9th grade, to be able to have that little bit of a push more to get through all of that content. Civics will also have, like what we say, a slight change, in the sense of civics will still remain a full year course and allow our students to be more responsible citizens in our local and global communities. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a personal finance course that's now required for graduation, but that will be a separate course that will be taught, so allowing us to dive deeper into the civics content. So that's really exciting. And so what we decided to go with is McGraw-Hill for across the board, for the most part, for even our electives. We just really felt with the shift in content that these textbooks met all the standards. They provided a lot of rigor, differentiated instruction, and guidance for new teachers as well as veteran teachers. And we liked that it allowed the ability to kind of adjust the curriculum for students of all levels. So even we can go in and adjust reading levels for students, which is really kind of nice at the high school level. Sometimes that is reliant on finding other sources to do so. And now to have that at our fingertips is really great. In addition, it does express some really complex ideas, has lots of primary and secondary sources. So the primary sources are really exciting. I know that seems really nerdy, but it allows
Not
students,
here.
it allows students to see different perspectives and realize that history is gray. It is not black and white, and it has so many different perspectives, and that's really important for global as well as United States citizens to see multiple perspectives in this day and age. So a couple things. It has like the inquiry journal that incorporates historical questions and research. It also has primary documents, interactive maps, video clips, a smart book with the adaptive tools to create personalized learning. We also know it has Kahoot games that the kids are really excited about, right? And we also have this program called Actively Learns, which we're really excited about. It was a program that was free a couple of years ago and even last year, and then they made it private, so you can't use it anymore. But it was really nice because it allows you to access all of these articles, whether they're primary, secondary sources, and you can create questions embedded within, which really would help with our SAT scores and to help students with comprehension and inferring. So it's really exciting that we're going to have access to that type of program, and that comes with it, and that's super exciting. The only book that differentiated a little bit was psychology, and they went with Bedford, Worth, and Freeman. I think that's like what the publisher is. And when I had talked to our psychology teachers, they said they liked the alignment and how it was organized and how it fit the curriculum of psychology. So they were really excited about that. So here we go. So those are the extras that I was talking about. Sorry, I got a little ahead of myself. And so we know that all of those are really nice to have. It allows for a lot of mediums and different ways for students to learn. And what's really nice is to have those textbooks. I mean, like in this day and age, it's wonderful to have technology, but sometimes it's really good to just have a physical textbook for the kids to learn from. Yeah. And they kind of need a brain break, right, from all of that technology. They're inundated all day long. So we're really excited about that, and I think this book will help us with our pacing guides and curriculum maps that we know we're looking forward to in the future working on, so that everyone is kind of aligned and in the same place. So that's really kind of exciting. So I think, so those are some of the program components which I just talked about, which is really kind of nice. They have a lot of project-based learning, like the Lexile-specific text, which was really kind of nice, Kahoot, Smart Book, Actively Learn. So those are like bonuses. So we're really excited to have access to extra resources, which is really kind of cool. In addition, we'll be using them obviously to do the pacing guides and resources. And I think what we're requesting is like, we're hoping for the board to purchase class sets of 50 textbooks per teacher, which I know seems like a lot, but like if we have 4 teachers teaching and we suddenly have another course added, we want to be able to pull those textbooks to give a class set to that teacher. In addition, with homebound, with anybody who maybe has like, anything else that pops up, or students who have accommodations, it would be really nice to be able to give them a physical copy of the textbook. And if a student doesn't have access to internet, it would also be nice to have those. So we are asking for that many just so we know we can accommodate students in the right way. No consumables will be purchased because we have digital access for up to 5 years with this. So that's really kind of nice. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And, that's all we've got. Unless you have anything else to add, Becky. Yeah, welcome for questions.
So can you just repeat, your ask is for 50 books per teacher? So the books would remain in the classroom?
Okay, so okay, at the high school level, we might have 3 teachers that teach AP, world history. So they would each get 50 books, because then that way, if we have another teacher that gets assigned that, they have a class set that we can pull, like 10, 10, and 10, and give that to them. And then they have extras to send home with any student who has accommodations, or maybe is homebound,
Right.
and that's the purpose behind
So
it.
I guess in my head, I'm just trying to understand.
It's by content area, not by every not every teacher in the building is going to get 50 world books. It's like just the.
It's not a book per student.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
No, it's just a class set.
remain in the classroom. Okay, that's what I was trying to understand.
Because every student will have the
Access.
digital license.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just
No,
wanted that
So
clarified.
every student has digital access, and most of both companies have resources that students can download offline, because sometimes the internet's a problem, no matter where we are, internet goes out, the storm's coming tonight. So they do have the option to download some PDFs. Some of the features, of course, are based on the internet, but the classroom ask is that of course, that would be for 5 years. Digital has come a long way since they first started that electronic versions, and the electronic part to me just puts it over the top, but I do like that physical book. But I think the days of every student going back and forth in their backpack with the book, I think those are kind of over. So we were thinking that a little bit heftier classroom set would serve us well for homebound, for accommodations, for lost
textbooks.
So for 5 years,
Damaged.
right? So yeah, that was the reasoning behind that.
Yeah, I apologize. I should have
No,
been
that's
clear
fine,
about
that's
that. Thank
fine.
you.
I also want to comment that I was looking through this curriculum guide that you tucked in here, and I'm really pleased to see that the curriculum itself places the United States in a global context. It's not just focused on the United States. I'm an international relations specialist, and so the idea, so many students kind of come into my classes at the university and think, we're the United States, everything revolves around us, and the idea of talking about imperialism and all these different concepts with 9th, 10th, 11th graders is so very important, so I'm really pleased to see that.
And the new world standards also are going to really lend themselves to that, because it's a push to more modern era, and honestly had fixed an error that 7th and 9th grade really used to be almost the same years, almost the same standards. So we've moved away from that. 7th grade will address some of that ancient world, but the 9th grade really will move it more to modern era. So we're excited about it. And you could tell that Brooke and Erica really love the subjects they teach. They both are really excited to be here. And our committee, of course, couldn't all be here. They had other meetings and obligations, but they did a great job. So I want to publicly thank everybody in their work.
Thank you. You've done a lot of work as well. So.
Great job.
Other questions?
I have no questions.
Mr. Berry is not allowed to ask any questions of Mrs. Berry.
Becky, I'm just happy that we have the expert in Mon County of social studies here.
Yes,
Easy with these folks. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, Dan.
Oh, thank you.
Great job.
Okay.
Everybody.
This is kind of a trip back down memory lane, Mrs. Barry. In another life, I was a high school social studies teacher, and we used McGraw-Hill in the early 90s when I taught. They weren't quite as big, and I'm glad that we're not going to make this part of our PE curriculum to make the kids slug these around. But yeah, I do. I love the text. I love the authors of those books. So with that said, I'd like to recommend to the board that they approve our social studies, the instructional materials adoption for social studies as presented this evening.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Second.
Any questions, follow-ups? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. On to the next one.
Yeah, we do have one more adoption this evening that we need to tend to. That is our instructional materials adoption for mathematics, and we have our math specialist here to talk about that. So Sandy?
Yes. Last year at this time, we were adopting math, and as we worked through that process, we found that two particular courses, there was nothing represented in the information nothing was out there to support quantitative reasoning nor applied statistics. And so we asked at that time that the Board of Education defer that adoption, so that would give us time to seek resources, and in this case, we put our own curriculum together. And so I'd like to introduce Kelly Ann Allen, our secondary math specialist, who worked with our teachers to actually develop this curriculum, asking for your approval to deliver that in our quantitative reasoning and applied statistics courses.
I'm Kelly Ann Allen. I'm the secondary math specialist, and I'm going to correct Sandy. Because it's not quantitative reasoning that we're working with. Quantitative reasoning was one of our new ones.
Sorry.
And we did get that textbook, and we have talked a lot about that. So, but it's the transition math, and so it's the applied statistics, which is a new course this year, and this is what you have is the pacing guide that was developed to go through this year. So of course we're going to kind of tweak it around a little bit because we've gone through 1 year, and the materials were developed, and they are in units printed out for the students so that they have the units. The transition math is done that same way. So I have pacing guides and transition math that's similar to that. It's made in that same fashion, but this would replace a textbook basically in that unit. And then it relies heavily on the teacher's instruction, their strategies, what they bring in, and the applied statistics we felt like needed to be current, very current. It needs to be current. So you can switch these activities in and out with data that we need on the fly. The transition math, the math is the math for transition math. It doesn't really change that much, but we needed the textbooks that we were using, we needed to put in our own twist on that to help engage the students and make sure that they were learning. And so that's why we have done this, and we ask for your approval for these instructional materials.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody have any questions?
Who will be taking, is this required, or is this, and what grade?
Okay, so both of these are 12th grade, and both of these we have to offer these from the state. We're mandated to offer these. Yeah.
So kids or students have to take it?
No, they
Can
just have to be
select
offered because it's a fourth-year course option, so people could be taking Math 4, they could be taking AP Stats, they could be taking AP Pre-Calculus, they could be taking AP Calculus, but this is one of the ones we offer as a fourth-year option. Does that answer your
Perfect,
question?
and not AP level?
It is not, no.
I took a lot of statistics as an industrial engineer in college, and I think this is wonderful.
Yeah, the applied statistics course is, it's not AP, but it's very applicable.
I was going to say it's close.
Right, yeah, well, I don't know, but it's very applicable, and you'd be surprised. The students are surprised by, we use this every day, we really do. So I've been in the classroom as this has folded out this year, and I've been impressed by the activities and the engagement level of the students. And the transition math for seniors is for those seniors that are just needed more time to develop those skills to move on to their college level.
Oh, gotcha.
I agree with Mr. Smith. I too have a very strong background in statistics. And I think, especially in a world where we're moving towards the importance of data science and the creation of data science majors, having something like this below the AP level, I think is important to have access for students. So this looks like a great syllabus.
Any recommendation?
Board members, I do want to recognize our math team, because the easy way out would have been to adopt something last year that was unacceptable to our math people. And they had the foresight to say, we need to put a little work in here to get something for our students that's going to work and is going to help them with their future. So we much appreciate the work that you put into to this. So, with that said, Superintendent recommends that the board approve the instructional materials adoption for mathematics as presented this evening.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Questions, follow-ups? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you.
And an additional update on mathematics in Monongalia County. 2 years ago, and I'd like to introduce again Kellyanne Allen, who is our senior math specialist, Amanda Cosner, who is our elementary math academic coach, and Dr. Monica McCartney, who is our middle school math coach for the county. 2 years ago, they put together a program that was called More Math. And what we did is provide some additional professional development through 2 years in 2 different cohorts. And as the first cohort finished, they could join the second cohort. And then, sometimes you have to give things a break. Well, this year, the state came out with some grant opportunities. And in discussions along with our deputy superintendent, it was decided we're going to go ahead and apply for some additional math. So what they've been able to do is to write a grant, which was approved by the State Department, to continue our More Math, but really broaden the audience that will be involved in this math cohort. So at this time, I'd like to introduce our authors of the grant and to give you a little bit of idea about what the professional development and the stance of this will be.
All right, so Monica is handing you out the flyer for our professional development. So in the year 22-23, we collaborated to provide consistent professional development for our Mon County math teachers with Monongalia rigorous mathematics, which we call MORE, which you see there on the nice flyer. The goal was to create thinking classrooms. Approximately 35 teachers the first year, 25 the second year, grades 3 through 12, and they were engaged in discussion and professional development that was relevant to the math classroom. We gave them, they had to complete feedback for us, and when they did that, we found out that they were most excited about opportunities they were having to collaborate between all 3 programmatic levels. And they found that there were similar experiences and there were challenges. There were things they didn't understand. Why we're teaching this? Oh, that's where that's going. And like the upper levels were like, I want to go into those lower classrooms and see how are they learning this. And that's what we found out.
So the grant that was offered this year through the West Virginia Department of Education was funded by House Bill 5405, and Monongalia County, as she said, was awarded the full amount, which was $25,000 for the first year, and we will have an option to renew that as well for a second year. And so we decided we wanted to use that funding to continue our More Math initiative. And our goal is to have 30 or more teachers in grades 3 through 12 who will participate. And then we'll have a summer kickoff in August. And then about 6 times throughout the year, we'll have after-school meetings where we'll meet with them for 2 hours and provide professional development. And then we also this time want to add something a little bit different, where we give them opportunities to visit their peers in different classrooms twice throughout the year, because I think there's a lot that people can learn from each other. So we want to give them that opportunity to visit their peers and see what their peers are doing in math. And so the grant, the money that we get through the grant, the money will be used to pay teachers for stipends, because we'll be meeting once in the summer and then after school. So it'll be outside of their work hours, so they'll get paid for the time that they spend with us. And then also to pay for the substitutes so that they can have a substitute so they can go and visit other people's classrooms. So that's what the money will be spent on.
And to go a little deeper into what that PD looks like, we had an aha moment in working with them. We have been teaching them and providing them PD about how important it is for their students to work together and to collaborate and for student discussion. And we had this moment of aha where we were like, it's more meaningful for them to talk with each other and to learn from each other and to collaborate with one another than to attend a PD that's sit and get. So rather than us providing the standard PD that maybe they've seen in the past, these are opportunities for them to truly network together. So we're changing the name slightly from More Math or Monongalia County Rigorous Mathematics to the More Math Network. We want to really focus on the fact that they're going to be collaborating together. And again, those are collaborations across grades 3 through 12. It was very enlightening to them to see some of the things that they had in common, as Kellyanne mentioned. And of course, as math specialists, that doesn't mean we're off the hook. It doesn't mean that because they're the ones talking that we don't have to do anything anymore. We're going to be facilitating those discussions and still providing them with a professional development. That professional development has already been planned for a full year. We've already sat down and said, these are the topics we want them to talk about. We wanted to make sure there was a clear goal and an objective at the end for where we want them to be. So the topics that they're going to be discussing are how learning progresses in mathematics from year to year, so they can see how those progressions take place. They can see why it is important for them to teach a certain math concept in the way they do in 4th grade, because that's how it is affected in 7th grade, and then how it affects student learning in 11th grade, and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure they see how those progressions happen. Of course, we're going to do exactly as I mentioned, really focus on strategies that improve student critical thinking and student discourse. And we want to make sure that there's some consistency in our teaching practices from grades 3 through grade 12. Our participants are going to be asked to implement the practices that they're discussing together and that they're learning about. They're going to be asked to reflect on them. And then, one of the things that we're most excited about is we're hoping that they take this as a leadership opportunity and go back to their schools and teach their peers in their building who are not participants in the More Math about the things that they're learning, and again, really extend the network that we're building. An exciting piece, Amanda mentioned that we're hoping to get 30 participants. The only thing we've done so far is send out that flyer that you've seen. We send it via email, see what happens. We already have 13 people signed up from 8 different schools. So we're really excited that it's already starting to build, and we're excited to see who we're going to get next year. So, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Great job.
Congratulations on the grant.
Anytime you get money out of the state, that's a good thing. Okay, next up, new contracts, Field Turf USA Incorporated.
That's our first one this evening. Superintendent recommends that the board approve the Field Turf USA Incorporated contract for the Westwood Middle School field as presented in your executive content.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Discussion, questions, follow-ups? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next, we have Harper Engineering, Electrical Design, EV Bus Charging Station, UHS.
Superintendent recommends that the board approve the Harper Engineering contract as presented this evening.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Opposed? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Consent agenda.
Superintendent recommends that the board approve the consent agenda as presented to include items A, expenditures exceeding $3,000. Item B, the payment of salaries and accounts payable. Item C, Keith Matheny, a presenter for Behavior Blueprint. Item D, the Mountaineer Highlands Cooperative. Item E, Null Education Services Agreement. Item F are the April 15th, 2025 minutes. Item G are the amended minutes from the reconvened meeting of March 11th, 2025. Item H is the Head Start Delegate Monitoring Report. Item I is the Head Start Delegate Monitoring Plan of Corrections. And finally, item J is the pre-K curriculum signature page.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any questions?
I have a question about the Mountaineer Highlands Cooperative. I just want to know what they are selling to us. Is it food?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It is food.
And we actually get our food through Borden's, who is part of this bid, but the Mountaineer Highlands came together. I think you'll see the different counties that belong to the co-op. So every 3 years, they bid out the food as one group, so we can get discounts.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Anybody have any board updates?
Yes, I do. This past weekend, Morgantown High's History Bowl team, led by teacher Alex Godfrey, were in the top 20 in the United States at the competition in Washington, D.C. Did a wonderful job. So I just wanted to give them a shout out and let them know that they are appreciated.
Yes.
Really well done. It all starts with our middle school and the programs that they have, and when they get to high school,
Right.
they're killing it.
Ready to roll then.
I'll say April's been a really, really busy month for the staff, and I've got to learn for the first time what everyone goes through in April. So there's a lot of moving parts. I had a lot of questions and a lot of thoughts and a lot of concerns, and every single one of those get answered every single time. Not always the answer I want, but it's not all about Sean. But I just want to thank everybody, from Teresa, Amber, Nicole, Bob, Jennifer, Sandy, Donna, Dr. Campbell. I know there's a lot of moving parts, but every time I have a question or concern, it usually comes from the public, and I try to address them as fast as possible, and you guys are always on it. So thank you for that. As far as the arts go, UHS finalized their musical. That was good. I'm sure Dr. Morgan saw it as well. It was a really good job as they had. And then Morgantown High will be their musical, Once Upon a Mattress. I promise it's clean. It is. It's at the Met starting Thursday night, so Thursday through the weekend.
It's Princess and the Pea, basically, right?
Thank you, Doc. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, that one was somewhere along the line we lost this.
History
When I
Bowl
started
team did well.
Thank you.
Okay, and I have nothing to report, so we'll move on to policies.
Okay, we do have several this evening that we need to approve, or I'm going to ask for your approval for second reading. and adoption this evening. I will read through the list and I'll make a recommendation that we approve them as they are presented this evening. So we'll begin with Policy 1130, Conflict of Interest. Item B is Policy 3113, Conflict of Interest. Policy 4113, also Conflict of Interest. Item 6110, Federal Funds. Policy 6111, Internal Controls. Policy 6112, Cash Management of Grants. Policy 6114, Cost Principles, Spending Federal Funds. Policy 6550, Travel Payment and Reimbursement. Policy 7310, Disposition of Personal Property. Policy 7450, Property Inventory. And I believe that concludes our list. With that said, the superintendent recommends that the board approve those policies for second reading and adoption.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Follow-up? Comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Personnel matters.
First is our regular personnel list. I do not see any changes to the list. With that said, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the personnel list as presented.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Follow-up? Comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. We have no new positions, I take it.
I do not believe we do.
Next personnel list addendum.
Again, seeing no changes to the addendum, superintendent recommends that the board approve the personnel list addendum as presented to you this evening.
A motion?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. At this time, I'd like to move we enter into executive session to discuss the sale of property. Short, hopefully. You want to stay here?
You can.
As I say, 'cause there's nothing going on after that, so.
Do we have to put this in a motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have a second? That's what I was. Did
Oh,
anybody-
second.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, the same. We will be back at some point in time.